Here's one of my screen frames glued up. You can see, at least I hope you can. I clamp it like this. Sorry about the air compressor on. I clamp it like this to get it close to being the same both directions, and it's about 1.1 or so. And then I put a clamp on here like this, and this clamp is going to be moved through the process of when I run a bandsaw down the curve or the joint where these two intersect at. And I will run it all the way through, and as I pass, I move the clamp out of the way of the blade and back and forth. It has to be moved several different times. And what that saw blade's doing is it's removing material to make a perfect fit. And after I get through, I open it up, pull the blade back out, and run it through again. And I keep running it through over and over until you get a nice tight fit like this. And also that the finish, or the surface rather, that the bandsaw leaves, because it's a skip tooth blade, it leaves interlocking teeth to where they grip each other even without the clamp holding them together. As this wood is steam bent, it has tension and it wants to squeeze together. And so between that and this, just that by itself makes it very strong. And then I use a vinyl. It's a two-part vinyl adhesive / epoxy adhesive. I use it for granite countertops. And it has a good gap filling capability to fill in the little voids that the saw blade leaves. But it is tremendously a strong adhesive, and it has, because of the vinyl component, it has some flexibility, and the epoxy gives it its strength. So anyway, after that is glued, and I'll have probably 30 clamps, believe it or not, from going all along the top edge, going all along the bottom edge, and then through the middle. This is about 3 inches wide. And this is hickory, I think. I use hickory, ash, even maple. The rest of it is all shaping with the edge sander and then oscillating spindle sander, just to clean it up. And I just eyeball it and check it with my measuring tape, and you get it pretty good. It's not perfect or anything, but it's pretty darn close. And that's about it on that part of it, and I'll show you different stages as I go through this. That's how I mark them. I do it 180 degrees from each other on all of them. What I wanted to show, these are about 2 3/4 to 3 inches high. They all vary. It just depends on how well they came out of the mold and how they end up truing up after all the machining and whatnot. What's interesting about these that's different or unique from other people's is how I attach them. I router about a 5/8 to 3/4 inch deep groove all the way around, and I use what I call a spline system, and the screen is shaped in a U shape like this. It's pounded down into the groove, and a copper wire is sandwiched in between that U shape, and it wedges itself tightly inside the wood. That's why you have to use a strong, stout, straight-grained wood, something that can take that kind of force and not split apart. Getting the fit just right is important. It's one of the most difficult challenges because each mesh has a different thickness to it. So there's a trial and error of getting that all dialed in. Then after all that's pounded in, I pour in liquid epoxy. It's a type of epoxy that flows out real well, has a long set time, and it fills in all those little voids. The main reason why I started doing that wasn't to keep the screen in place, because the screen ain't going to come out when it's splined in. It's very secure. The epoxy keeps composition from getting down inside these grooves and building up, and then it also flows up here onto the edge, and comp can't collect there either. Like if you build your own out of 2x4s or 1x material, and you staple it, and then you staple or nail or screw a cleat onto the bottom to sandwich it, composition can still get in between that crevice. By having the screen on the very bottom and having it done this way, there's no place for composition to collect. And what little